Hey y'all, it's Tabby with Tab Space, and I am back with a very special episode and a special segment. I kind of rolled it out on my Instagram, and I was telling y'all that I was going to start doing Tab Spiritual Space. So this is my first episode of Tab Spiritual Space, and we're being multifunctional today because we have an event to go to tomorrow, which there'll be plenty of videos of that coming up soon. But I have a very special guest here today for my first episode. I want to introduce Play Crazy. Play Crazy, tell the people who you are.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Play Crazy, and I'm I don't even know what to call myself title wise because I do so much. Like right now, I'm doing hair.
She's a CEO.
Definitely a CEO.
A mogul.
Play Crazy. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a creative director. I'm a manager. I have artists that I manage as well. I dabble in anything artistic. So my company and what we do, we shine a light on artists. Like our sole purpose is to elevate and make a space for the artists to shine. And just support them on their journey of artistry and just being that resource to be able to make those connections for them and also just be able to support them in any way that we can. So ultimately, my business is a part of my brand and who I am as a person. Since I am an artist, that's why my business is centered and focused around artists. I'm a poet. I'm a photographer. I'm a painter. I am an actor or actress. I write. I direct. I film. And it's just so many avenues of art and so many different venues that I just want to be that one-stop shop person that can facilitate and help improve all of those art forms in some type of way, shape, or form.
Sorry about that, y'all. I got a cat in here. He's about to go back in his room if he don't get it together. But that said, first off, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Second, I want to say what you're doing is amazing and inspiring to me. And we got some things going on here, but ultimately, I have a huge goal of eventually getting to a point where I help elevate people and help people every single day. So it means a lot to me to be able to be around people that help shine a light on people, kind of get their talents out there, and are kind of making a way as far as just doing what you gotta do,
making our own wave.
Yeah,
definitely.
You're making your own way, your own lane. You're not following suit to everybody else and doing what everybody else is doing, and I love it. I love everything about it, and I love like the idea of being multifaceted all around.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, that's got to take a toll on you mentally. So, how does that make you feel with all of the things that you have, going on?
Well, I am a mother of 4, and I do work a full-time job. So trying to balance being a mother and also working a full-time job and still trying to do my art form and uplift other people all in the midst of it, it does get a little bit of hectic. But honestly, like my faith in God has really just been driving me to be motivated and to continue to get stuff done. Like I'm a very spiritual person.
Hold on one second. Like the worst cat on the planet. He's like the worst, best cat on the planet.
That cat is smart.
Just he needs to get it together. My bad, y'all. My bad. But back to what you were saying.
Yeah. Remind me where we leave off.
You were kind of just explaining how you are also a mother, so you have a lot going on.
My faith, my spirituality. That is what keeps me going, because if I didn't believe that God set me on this path, then it would not have been blessed. Like I feel like when something is not sent from God is going to deter you, it's going to deteriorate, it's going to make you go insane, it's going to not give you purpose. But this right here, it gives me purpose. It motivates me every single day to think about the future and what is to come. So many times where I felt like I wasn't ready for the future, or I just didn't know what I was going to do in regards to the future. It made me not even want to have a future, you know?
Yeah, I have to
So,
say I relate to that 100%. I've experienced times in my life where things have gotten real turbulent, and I didn't have God to lean on at that time in my life, and because of that, it just continued to get worse. And certain situations in a moment, they might make you feel like, oh, it's good, it feels good. But if God's hand's not on it or in it, it's really not going to
prosper.
it's not. And it's not going to be good for you in the long run. It might be good in the moment, but eventually, whether it be today, tomorrow, or 20 years from now, you're going to realize you weren't even following your divine purpose. Or a lot of people get to a point where they feel like, why am I even here? Like, I'm not even doing anything. I'm not on any path. I'm not doing anything to advance my life.
Or anyone else's.
No, I'm just going to work every day and doing what I do. And going to work every day it's a very important, it's a huge part of it. But for me, and I'm not going to put it on everybody because not everybody has the same dreams as me, but for me, going to work every day isn't enough.
It's not. And I feel like we be like stuck in the matrix of the way that society believes that we should be living, when in all actuality we should be living and doing the stuff that we love as opposed to the stuff that we need to do. They make us feel like we need to pay money and pay bills and all of this other stuff. But in all actuality, there was a time where there was no such thing as bills. It's just people working hard to keep their land and make food for their family, and everybody was a community. Now everybody is divided and so separated from life and from everything in general that God set forth for us on this earth. So that's why I feel like the whole world is crashing out right now, because it's like we're so disconnected.
No, we're beyond disconnected from God, his purpose, everything else. Like, as days and years go by, every year, like, this country, for an example, and really all of the world goes in a negative direction and deviates from God's, purpose for our planet. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it starts with, like, oh, now we need jobs. Then we got bills. Now everything's even more expensive. Now we have all this talk about, race issues have always been a thing since the beginning of time. You know what I mean? And people separating off from place to place has caused division between people. But then you add on top of that, like, the immorality that comes along with being, like, living in sin every single day, and
Mm-hmm.
not repenting or not ever wanting better for yourself, to where they all pile on top of each other and make each other feel better. And, like, the things that we allow and the things that are, like, glorified in our society now are very much like, whoa, like, this is either demonic or just completely not of God. Which, if it's not of God, then it's of the other guy. So
Mm-hmm. I totally understand that. And it's just like just having the discernment to know what is right and what is wrong according to God's will, because every single day we make plans. Every single day we be expecting to come home at the end of the day. But it's what I've learned in life is not anything that I'm planning. It's all according to his will. And if his will is the fact that I am allowing other people to flourish in their art, maybe somebody's feeling depressed or anything, and I'm there to be that person to uplift them and bring them some type of satisfaction about themselves and purpose through their art, then I definitely want to be that person to do that. And because I know for a fact my art is what saved me, like in life in general, because it's just like I always felt out of place. I always felt like the black sheep. I always felt like nobody understood me. But when I got on stage, baby, when I got on stage, I felt at home. I felt seen. I felt heard. I could be anybody that I wanted, and it took so much focus for me to even do that. It was a discipline that I never even like knew that I had about myself, and just knowing that I had that discipline and the fact that I stayed true to like being on stage and in theater and stuff like that, it allowed me to have this mindset that I have now of discipline and getting stuff done and being on point and being there on time. And those type of skills is what I learned in high school. So it's just all good. And I went to Cleveland School of the Arts too, so they taught a really good curriculum when it came to the arts.
That's amazing, and I love to hear it. And honestly, I think that anything that not only uplifts people but kind of shows off and showcases God's gifts to people is of God, and I love to hear it. And I also feel as though even if it's not that, when you're going into a situation to make people better or to help people just show who they really are, you're giving into the world rather than taking from it. And so many things take from the world. So many corporations and so many different businesses genuinely just take as much as they can. They'll give a little bit, what they call giving, but they're it's like breadcrumbs in comparison to what they're actually like yielding every year. Like if you like read a company's like scope or like their financial report for the last year or the last quarter or whatever the case may be, and then you compare that to your salary or the salaries of those around you, you start to realize they're really not compensating me even half of what I should be getting because of that, not even because of my worth or what I bring to the table. So when you think about that and you think about what making others come into the, like, not making others come into themselves, but helping others come into themselves in comparison to where you're investing in you rather than investing in something that's just going to continue to take from people.
Right. Like consumerism.
Yeah. Like
I could sell stuff. I could. And I am going to sell stuff to make money for the business for sure.
Yeah.
But like my sole purpose is not to make money.
Yeah. And my sole purpose is not to sell a certain thing or to manage a certain type of inventory or be here, just being anywhere doing something that's really not about giving back to people, helping people.
I'll bet you $110 we all 9 life paths.
We what?
We're all life 9 paths because I feel like we're all humanitarians.
What's life 9? What does that mean?
Well, the life path 9 is a humanitarian, and life paths is basically your birthday added up, and then the number of your name, and it comes with this number of what your life is passed on. Some people, their pathways are to be bosses or to be teachers or workers or stuff like that. Like it's all in the stars for us when you start to look into numerology and numbers and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I am a Christian, and I do believe in angel numbers, but it's not. I feel like that. Yes, they give you signs, and they also tell you certain things to like focus on. But at the same time, you don't want to make angels your god.
No, definitely, you don't want to get into idolatry.
Exactly.
I have recently learned about how astrology is considered maybe, I guess, like demonic and
but that doesn't mean it's not like accurate to the point, because there are other gods in this world and God talks about them, and but he also states that he is the one true God. He's the creator of all. So even if they are gods to us, lesser humans, they're nothing compared to him. Yeah, because he's our one true God.
I feel like anything that's like spiritual has some validity to it. You know what I mean? Like witchcraft and all of those things, they work because they're in the spiritual realm, and spirits and the spiritual realm are very real things.
Right.
When you realize that everything is spiritual, you can kind of live your life in a different way. I just think that I do have an understanding that, like, I know I'm a Pisces. I know that, to based off of what a Pisces is and based off of who I am, those two things are very, they resonate. They're pretty much that. But I also realize as well that if I go and check my horoscope every single day and believe that to a T,
Right.
that's probably not the smartest way to live.
Right.
Because that's where you start to get into that idolatry of it, and you start to think about, okay.
Right. Instead of going to God, you go into that to try to get some type of insight about yourself.
Or you're worrying yourself with, oh my God, I'm supposed to have a bad day today. Oh my God, this thing is supposed to happen today, and I'm waiting for it. Like, what is it going to be?
Right.
Or you spend your whole day like looking for whatever it is that your horoscope says, and then if it doesn't happen, you get disappointed. And it's like, I would not suggest getting that deep into it, and I wouldn't either suggest, oh, we're not compatible because you're an Aquarius and I'm a this, and I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to get to know you. Like, that's not, I don't see where that's going to get you in life. To make any prejudice off of somebody based off of any one thing, whether it be astrology or the color of their hair or the way that they look or anything like that. Like, I don't think that that's worth it, but some people kind of get locked up in that, and it causes a bit of a disconnect, and it's not worth it. At the end of the day, it's not worth it. So how have you been feeling spiritually?
Spiritually, I've been feeling like so connected. Like, I just had a dream. What was my dream? What was my latest dream? I had a dream that I was gonna get a house. Where I got approved for a house, and in this dream of getting this house, I walk in the house and then I fall to the floor and I start crying and I start thanking God for the house. I don't have a house right now.
You're looking for one.
I'm looking for one. And it's been like so hard for me to find a place for me and my children that is just going to be suitable and that have everything that I need.
Right.
So lately I haven't been getting discouraged because God lets me know that He has me through all of this. But at the same time, it's just like we're trying to remain patient and also remain prayerful and knowing that He will one day bless me with that home.
You're gonna be blessed, most definitely. When I have dreams like that, I know, like, that's Him speaking to me, like, it's coming. Just be patient, keep doing what you're doing, don't give up, and know that I'm here.
Right.
You're not doing this alone. And as long as I keep those things in mind, I'm good. I'm good for real. Like, I don't have anything to stress or worry about. I do know that very shortly I'm gonna have to probably cut this short and make it into another video, a little part 2, because I'm on a little bit of a time crunch today. So I want to ask you before I kind of end it off, before we go into our part 2 next time. You got anything that you want to say to, like, leave the people off with? Since we kind of got into your business, we kind of got into a few different spiritual things and ideologies. What you gotta say?
Well, personally, I just want to say that just don't give up on yourself. Believe in God and put Him at the first and the head of everything that you do. And I promise you that your dreams will come true.
I love that. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna say thank y'all for tuning in. And it's gonna be a work in progress in the beginning. I'll kind of start to explain more as to what Tabspirtual Space is as we go. It's kind of a place where we get to kind of just talk our stuff and let it be known how we've been feeling spiritually, and how we feel about spirituality from our perspective, whether it be religious or just spiritual. Because I know some people are spiritual, some people are religious. I don't think that you're a witch or a demon if you're a spiritual person. Like there's a lot of that goes around, and not enough tolerance or compassion for both ends of the spectrum. I'm kind of stepping from spiritual to religious, so while I get into it, I have kind of the in and out of both, and I'm like, I don't want to step into this and then act like, oh, religious people are better than spiritual people, or vice versa. Like, I think we need to stop that. We need to do a little bit of a better job of understanding a spiritual person just might not understand who they think God is, and they still pray to God, and they're still trying to get to probably a point where they understand who God is to them. So let them get there and don't be compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, I thank y'all for tuning in. And once we get into part two, we're gonna start talking our stuff a little bit more.
Absolutely. Y'all peace out.
Thank you. Bye.